So let's talk about it. I'm just a girl.
You know that girl, I am just a girl too.
There's a creator on this app called I'm Just a Girl, and a lot of y'all don't like her.
All the discourse surrounding Just a Girl, I really have just one question.
And I'm just a girl. Just a girl.
That lady, I'm just a girl.
No, because y'all are tearing that Just a Girl a whole new one.
I think the problem with I'm Just a Girl's content,
that Just a Girl lady, you cannot convince me that she don't hate black women.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Just a Girl show. I am Janine. Thank you guys for being here. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is having an amazing evening thus far. Welcome back. I'm really excited for tonight's conversation. As you guys can see, we are talking about alpha women and the idea around being an alpha woman and all that has come about with approaching this alpha woman, boss chick, independent, like just all of that. And I will say, which I always say, that a lot of this stuff has been programmed into us, right? And a lot of it has come literally just from mainstream TV, movies, music, all of that, right? Like they have programmed us as women to adapt this mentality of being a boss alpha chick. But before we could be programmed by the music and social media, for many of us, we were programmed straight from our home, right? Our mothers. We watched our mothers be alpha females. You know, we watched our mothers be very dominant, be very aggressive, very bossy, just this don't play with me mentality. And I think that it's just done us harm, you know. And the term alpha female, right? If you Google the definition, it does talk about basically a woman who is assertive, who's confident, and who's successful. That's what they deem an alpha woman to be. Now, I don't know where the definition actually came from, but that's what when I Google it, this is exactly what it says. And I don't think that when most women say I'm an alpha woman, they're talking about being assertive, confident, and successful. They're talking about I gotta handle my business. They're talking about I gotta do what I gotta do. It's just me taking care of my kids. Like that whole like aggressive woman. Alpha female in today's society is an aggressive woman. Very aggressive. It's not just about being assertive, because I believe, for those who do not know, many of y'all don't know, when I started Just a Girl, the meaning behind Just a Girl, the brand, the Just a Girl name is my business. It is my brand. And I started that business in 2017, right? And when I started Just a Girl, the whole idea around it is really embracing your femininity and being just a girl. Like I was hit to this before it was a trend to be just a girl. Like this was 2017. Nobody was saying I'm just a girl. Nobody was saying that back then. Nobody at all. So for me, I wanted women to embrace the soft side of it. Us. You can still be assertive and still be very feminine. You don't have to turn into a B, right, to get your point across. You don't have to turn into a very aggressive person. You can be very assertive. That means just knowing what you want, being confident in what you want, and confident in yourself, but still being very feminine. But because we are now alpha females, it has taken a turn. So with that being said, and talking about how we have been programmed by our mothers, I'm going to share this first clip with you guys. And this woman talks about just the challenge of growing up with a lot of alpha females. Be sure to like the live, y'all. Support the channel. Support this live is greatly appreciated. And let's get into the show. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on the screen. Pause it real quick. Okay. Here we go.
Being a woman growing up around all alpha women and then growing to try to be submissive is the hardest thing ever, and it's not really talked about. Like, it's so crazy. Like, most women don't know how to be submissive because they never seen women be submissive in a way. And let me not get on here and say my family not married, but I come from a family where most likely 9 times out of 10 although the man is providing, he is seen but not heard. Like, I've never really heard a man in my family really tell a woman what to do, what to wear, where she can and can't go. I never had heard a woman have to ask for permission to do anything that she wanted to do. So it's kind of hard being submissive to a man that wants to lead and take control, because it's like, I don't like feeling like somebody telling me what to do in a way, because I grew up around women who wasn't being told what to do, or who was just in control most of the time. Like, yeah, the man provided, but like, it was up to them. Most things was up to them on how things were going to go, not up to the man telling them how it's going to go.
So what she's describing, what we use the term now, what we use the word, they were simps, right? We use that word for men who let women run the show, be in charge, control them, right? We call it that these men are simp type of men, right? But what she's saying is very true, right? Very true, that this is a reality for many relationships and many women growing up watching their mothers or grandmothers or aunties, whether it's a relationship with their father, whether it's a relationship that the mother has with her boyfriend, or like, so it's real. Like she said, the man is seen and not heard. That's us as women. We are the ones who are supposed to be seen, not heard. Why, as my wife, my girlfriend, my partner, whatever, everybody hear you coming? They hear your mouth yapping before we even get into the door. And as she said, I struggle with allowing a man to try to tell me what to do or guide me or lead me, because I never saw that. To her, it's a form of like, who you think you are? What you think this is? Because I ain't never seen this before. You may view it as a weakness for you to allow a man to tell you what to do. She literally said the women in her family, 9 times out of 10, they never had to ask their husbands or partners or whatever, anything. They did whatever they wanted to do. Like, did whatever they wanted to do. And the man is providing, right? Taking care of you, and you're going to still do what you want to do. So with that being said, ladies who are watching, do y'all understand how men can change their whole tune when they come out of relationships like that? Right? They let a woman run them. They thought that that's what they were supposed to do, because you know what? 9 times out of 10, they were raised by an alpha woman. So they watched their mother do that to men. So they adapted that mentality of, as a man, I guess that's how it's supposed to be when a woman is with me. It's just, we're all learning and being programmed. So the woman is watching her mother, and the man is also watching his mother interact with men. And he's adapting that mentality, that personality, that mindset of how you're supposed to show up in a relationship with a woman. You provide and you shut up. And they say it all the time. They want a man to just pay their bills and shut up. Shut up. That's what they want. They want men to pay the bills, sleep with them, and shut their mouths.
But yeah, it's hard for me to be submissive, because it's just like, I'm not trying to listen to everything a man say. Like, men talk. Like, I didn't even know men talk for real. To disagree with you. Like, being in my past relationship, it was like, I was surprised a man even argued back with you. Like, well, not even argue back, but just spoke back, like, when you was talking to them. For example, my grandma, she used to go on ranting. And my grandpa, he wouldn't say nothing. He'll let her fit, like, he would keep letting her go for a couple minutes. I said my grandma would be going for a couple minutes. And then out of nowhere, my grandpa he'll say 3 words. Shut up, Loretta. 3 words. And I promise you, after that, my grandma won't have nothing else to say, because he done let her get it all out. And I just be feeling like that's how some men should just be. Like, sometimes a woman just needs to express themselves. And then you, after you know that they almost done expressing themselves, or you know they done, tell them just be quiet and go sit down somewhere.
So that right there is the biggest problem, right? She can't realize that that was the wrong dynamic, right? She thinks that, why can't a man just do that? Why can't you just let us go on, say what we got to say, what we want to say, whatever we want to say, and I'm about to be done. Just tell me to shut up, right? Instead of saying, why can't we as women, and trust me, this is a struggle that I work through every day, right? Knowing when to just not say something or when to say something, choosing your battles. Everything doesn't need to be said. It just doesn't. Everything doesn't need to be said. So she can't recognize the fact that, okay, why couldn't my grandmother have took a different approach to how she spoke to my grandpa? That man was choosing peace. That man was like, you know what, girl, shut up. I'm not even paying you no mind. I'm not paying you no mind. But unfortunately, you're watching it as a child. You're watching it. And I'm going to say this is the sad thing, how we talk about how grandpa had all the girls back in the day and he was cheating on grandma. He probably was, because of that. Grandpa had him another chick that was treating him good. And that was doing what he wanted her to do, what he wanted her to do. I'm just saying, because they always love to bring up how grandpa was cheating and doing this to grandma and blah 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 blah. But you see how that can happen. You push grandpa into somebody else's arms, being all aggressive and nasty and mean. But the idea for us as women to think that men should just shut up and let us do what we want to do, say we want to say, and not have a response is insane. She said she didn't even know men really said much. She was caught off guard that the man in her last relationship even had something to say. But again, we do call these men simps, as I said in the beginning, right? And it just creates a generation of them. It very much creates a generation of these men.
Like, I didn't know when I'm expressing myself that a man actually spoke back, and now I gotta rebuttal with you about something. Like, I don't know, that's just been hard for me. Or like, a man wanted me to do whatever he wanted me to do and want me to submit to him, and it's just like, I truthfully don't really know how, like, to submit to no man. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I need permission to do this? What do you mean I need to talk to you before I do this? And that can be a downfall to a lot of relationships when you are an alpha female and a man wants to be an alpha male. But I feel like it should be some type of balance too. Like, you should be able to be an alpha female and be in a relationship with an alpha male. Where you don't feel like you got to dim yourself. Like, I be feeling like my problem with being submissive is I feel like I have to dim myself down for a man. And it's like, no, I don't want to dim myself down for no man. Like, I don't need no man feeling like he just got the power and control over me. But I don't know. But it's just like, I've never seen a man just tell a woman fully what to do. Like, and maybe he did tell her what to do behind closed doors, but I just didn't see that growing up. It was just like, men talk. Like,
so I appreciate her acknowledging this, and just sharing her struggles and, being a young woman and trying to figure it out. Let's make something clear. An alpha woman and an alpha man will never work. That's two gorillas trying to, like two alpha, like why would somebody has to run the show. We both cannot run the show. We just can't. That's why there is a CEO. And then everybody comes underneath. There's the boss. Everyone, because we can't have, it just doesn't work like that. Two alpha, alpha man and an alpha woman is just never going to work. Never. But unfortunately, the idea of submission, the idea of submitting to a man, being viewed as dimming your light, is how most Black women see it. Let's just make it very clear. Black women have a very hard time with that word submissive. It is like a disease to their body that attacks when they hear women talk about being submissive to their husbands, right? But I will say this, because some people say you shouldn't be submissive to anybody but your husband. I personally believe that if you are dating someone, he's courting you and you are dating for marriage, you need to show him that you can be a submissive woman, period. There's no way, honestly, in my opinion, and men that are in the chat, please tell me what you think about this. But how will a man know if how would a man know if you can follow his lead in marriage if you don't show him that while you're dating, courting? Correct? Men in the chat, like, let me know if am I wrong. Would you need to see that a woman can follow your lead even before you decide to marry her? You need to see some signs that she's cooperative. She trusts your judgment. She trusts your decision making. That is what submitting is. And women need to understand that we submit every day, all day, in our jobs. And within our friend groups, we submit all the time. But when it comes to a man in that intimate relationship, you like, I don't like that. I don't want to dim my light. You dim your light every day. If that's how you view submission, as dimming your light, when you go to work, you don't run the show. You're submitting to your boss. You don't run the show. You are submitting to your boss. You don't run the show. But women, as I said, they've allowed other women to make the word submission seem like a negative, terrible thing to do. And as I said, women have this idea about what being an alpha female is, and being an alpha woman, and thinking that that's going to work. I believe that you can still be very feminine and assertive. Very feminine but also being assertive. I believe that you can do both. I believe you can do both, in my opinion. But I want to share this with y'all because y'all know I love Dr. Bryant. I want to show y'all Dr. Bryant's conversation with Nene Leakes, discussing them two being submissive women. And yeah, let's just do this. Let me do this for y'all because I want y'all to see this and hear this. Okay, here we go.
So, do you feel some kind of way about women who, well, you said you was a kept woman.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you feel some kind of way about women who choose to be kept? See, I don't mind being kept, but I don't think.
But let's talk about the definition of kept.
Okay, because when you say, I'm thinking when you're saying kept, that you're meaning that this man is providing for you financially in every way, right?
Mm-hmm. And what is the woman doing?
Well, I guess you are being domestic in some sort of way, aren't you? Like you are home and you're taking care of things at home. Well, I did that when I was a stay-at-home mom with our child,
right? With Greg,
and, with my baby boy. But I think there's a downside to being kept. Do you? Because I feel like you give the man a lot of control when you allow him to have you kept. Like you're giving him control over things. Now, what if you wanted to buy a purse this week and he said you can't? Then how does that work?
So I think that's why I said it depends on people's definition of kept. there are two different kept women. There's that kept woman like you described. Look, I'm at home. I have no career. I'm not doing anything, but I am a homemaker. So I'm doing a lot in the home. I'm doing everything, and he's taking full care of me. So yes, what I want to do financially is completely codependent on this man. Then there was a kept woman like myself where I came and I was already a doctor. I was in private practice. I was president of NAACP, right? I'm running shit. And this man is taking full care of me. But he's telling me every time I leave to go to work or do something, if I say I'm too tired, he says, well, you don't have to. You're doing it by choice. I'm paying all the bills. And so there was a time where I wanted, some Giuseppe boots that were $3,800. Right. And he said, baby, we just got back from Paris and Africa in the same month. Right. Daddy's not doing that.
I get that.
And I said, okay, no problem. But then boots still came 3-4 days later because mama had her own money.
That's what I'm talking about.
So let's pause right there. Okay. Let's pause right there. Ladies. Okay. When you are submitting to your husband and you are in a marriage and this is where you want to submit to your husband who you do not have yet. What she just said, she had me until she did it her own way. So when I run this past my husband, my partner, and I say, I really can you buy me these? Can we get these boots? I really want. I want. And we have goals, we have dreams, we are financially taking care of things, right? And I say, I want these Giuseppe boots, and they're $3,800. He says, no, babe, like we just got back from a trip. We just did this, we just did that, blah, 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 blah. And then she says, I still got them because I had my own money. That is not submission. That is not a submissive woman, because that man decided that this is not best for us financially, right? But you decided that, oh, well, I still got my own, because she said, I'm fine with that. Cool. But then they still came after you weren't fine with that. You weren't fine. You were not fine with that. Because if you were fine with his answer and his explanation as to why we don't need to spend an extra $4,000 after we just spent $10,000 here at whatever, and you went and bought them, how can you say that you were fine with it? Do you understand what I'm saying? So as women, having your own money, I work, my paycheck comes into my account, right? But do I go and just make a large purchase like that without running it past my husband and seeing if he do you think this is cool for the month, or do we got anything else going on? Like, would you mind, or whatever the case may be? And he says, no, let's wait a little bit. Let's wait till next month until I figure this out, or whatever it might be. And I'm like, okay, babe. But then I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy money because I got my own money. That's not showing that you trust what he said and you heard what he said, and you agree with what he said. So just be mindful, ladies. Just be mindful. Oh, what did I do? Hold on. Let me hold on, y'all. Let me go back to the okay. Let me play it.
And on trips, I was buying him, while we're in Africa, I'm spending thousands of dollars on him with my own money because I could. But I wasn't gonna work when I knew that I didn't have to.
So you don't mind buying your man gifts?
No, that's one of my ways of loving.
Oh yeah, I love to.
Right? I'm not gonna. I don't believe, for me personally, I ain't knocking nobody who wants to do it. I'm not going to fully take care of my man, meaning at the beginning of our relationship. If to your point, like Greg did with you, where he's taking care of me and he comes up short, God forbid, or a health condition or something happens, I'm going to take full care of him at that point. Absolutely. But I'm not meeting a guy that I'm dating and going, yeah, I'm successful. I've accomplished going from, I would say, the hood to the hills, becoming this well-off woman, and so that means that I am independent and I want to take care of you. No, I'm interdependent. Right. I'm still a lady. I want to be treated as such. And if you have the capacity to take full care of me, I am going to say thank you in every way I can. Okay. And I also want to know in what ways does thank you, do you like a thank you? Because I want to do them ways too. Okay. But come take care of me.
Oh, yeah.
With no problem. Yeah. I will definitely spend, I got a lot of money that I will spend on you.
Right. Do you think that men think because you're an alpha female, because I'm an alpha female, that we're not submissive?
Nene, I love you. This is so good. But are you alpha or are you a hybrid? Because I talk about the hybrid being an alpha submissive woman. Because I'm a hybrid.
Because maybe I am, because I'm super submissive. And I think when I
y'all ever heard of that? The hybrid, what she call it? The hybrid submissive. What she call it? Hold on.
Meet or talk to people they be not submissive.
Nene, I love you. This is so good. But are you alpha or are you a hybrid? Because I talk about the hybrid being an alpha submissive woman. Because I'm a.
All right, let's look that up. She said hybrid submissive. I ain't never heard that one before now. Hybrid submissive. Y'all know Cheyenne be making up stuff. We know she make up stuff. Okay. Hybrid submissive describes a person who embodies both a dominant and submissive trait within a relationship, particularly in a BDSM or power exchange context. It is not a contradiction, but rather a blending of these energies where a person might lead a certain aspect of life, relationships. Okay. Okay. It said that's what it say, y'all. That's what I was about to say. I was thinking the Sigma. But hey, at this point, y'all, I don't even know. I don't even know. All right, let's keep going because she said she's a let's go because
hybrid.
Because maybe I am because I'm super submissive. And I think when I meet or talk to people, they be looking like, no, she's not. I'm like, how would you know?
You ain't been in a relationship with me to know how I submit.
To know exactly.
You just see me in the boardroom, or you just see me doing my TV shit where I have to be dominant in my position that I'm in. But you're not at home with me.
No, and I'm very submissive. And I actually say to people all the time that I control so many things in my life. When I get home or when I get to my.
Let me pause there. First of all, this is my fault. What did I do? Let me pause there, right? So she just stated that people look at me and say like, well, wow, how are you submissive? Because you are, the way they see you out is much more aggressive. So I personally feel like, if a woman is a true feminine woman, submissive woman, that will show even when she's not in her relationship. That will show, once again, even when she's not interacting with her partner. My opinion. I don't think, because again, this whole hybrid submissive, right? Hybrid submissive stuff. I personally do not think that you have to, because Nene, we've seen Nene. I love Nene. Nene is my girl. I miss her on Housewives. But Nene has a very aggressive personality. The way that she speaks, the way that she handles herself, the way she confronts issues, very aggressive. Very aggressive. So it would make sense why someone would be confused as to like, you're submissive? You submit? Because we see how you come at people like you a man. This woman has confronted multiple men without a problem. So why would we ever think that you are a submissive woman when we've seen how you interact and talk to men without no problem in the world? And this, again, that just shows when you are more soft and you can still be assertive and get your point across. And because it's just giving straight alpha, straight masculine, in my opinion. But again, what do I know?
Guy, I don't want to control anything. I'm happy for him to say, this is what we're gonna eat, this is what we're gonna drink, we're flying here, we're going there, or hey, I mean, I'm okay with it.
100%.
I actually like it.
100%. I am the poppy daddy. Do you need anything?
Hybrid so I can understand if I'm hybrid or not?
100%. So hybrid is just that. It means a woman wears both hats. She goes from being, I call it muscle. We can call it alpha, being muscle when she is closing deals, or when she is, at the head of her relationships, meaning friendships or business ships or partnerships. But when she comes home to a man who she highly admires and respects, she naturally submits to the masculinity, the healthy masculinity in him, meaning she has no problem with saying, baby, are you hungry? Or cooking for him, or daddy this, or daddy, are you all right? Or him having a strong voice that she respects, or even her sometimes asking. I know I used to ask my fiance, hey,
Mhm.
are you cool with me going to brunch with the girls on Sunday? And I
Yeah.
wasn't asking because I needed permission to go. I was asking because my natural way of loving my man is to show that I respect you. And I want to make sure that whatever decisions I'm making on behalf of us, the collective, is contributing to something positive and not an impairment or not an insecurity.
Right.
So I'm an asker. But again, this is the other thing. Women tend to say, you know, a man has to create this environment for me to be soft. I disagree.
I do too.
I disagree. I think that I am a
Okay, this right here, I'm following where she's going because I also disagree with that. I also disagree with that. This interview is not old. This is recent. This is a recent interview on Nini's show. But where she's going with this, I agree. I will say that we always have to give the disclaimer about how I don't need to ask for permission, right? I don't need to, but I just do it, right? There's also nothing wrong with asking for permission from your husband. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking your husband for permission. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Again, we always find a way that we have to feel like we have to like make sure that everyone knows that everyone knows like I didn't have to ask him, but I just did because I wanted to. It's okay. Like you're like when you say, hey, are you okay with me doing this? That's trying to get his permission as to if it's okay. That's okay. That is okay. What I will say about what she just said in regards to all the things that they were saying about, you know, I don't want to think. I don't want to figure out what we have to eat. I don't want to try. I want to just you plan it. The way that they're submitting is when it comes to acts of service, right? But I want them to identify more of when you get into conflict and when you get into having to address your partner, how do you speak to him? Because this, I just don't want to plan the vacation. I don't feel like worried about what we gonna eat for dinner. Yeah, that's submitting. And you allow him to lead, but it's really about like when it's time to really get to the nitty gritty, and y'all got real issues, and you trying to communicate with him. How are you speaking to him? How are you speaking to him? It's like this is bigger than calling this man daddy. Like, come on. Let's be for real.
Woman who's gonna submit and be soft. So I'm not gonna choose a man I can't be soft with. I can't nest in. If you're that type of dude where I know I have to be dominant with you, I'm not choosing you. That is not my environment and where I would feel safe. I don't want to dominate you.
Right. But I do know that there are men that will put you in a situation where you have to be kind of like, you know, because they're not all they're supposed to be. And so I feel like it makes you like.
But when you feel that, Nini, isn't that your own discernment to say, let me pivot?
Yeah.
Because this is not where I want to land.
Yeah, it is. But a lot of women do not.
They do not.
A lot of women stay way too long. Like I'm guilty of that kind of thing.
Staying too long?
Yeah.
With?
Somebody
after your
all I heard
previous late marriage.
Anybody.
Look, all the bodies. All the bodies.
So the definition of an alpha female, according to Google, okay. According to Google, alpha female is someone who is, what did it say? She's assertive, she's confident, and she's successful. According to Google. But to me, alpha female is just a woman who is very masculine and aggressive and don't want to follow any directions. That's what it feels. That's what society and our struggle within the Black community, especially amongst Black women and Black men, is the struggle of us, working together. As I said, if you are a woman and you want to be married and you desire marriage, I will say this again. I do not believe that women who, I don't believe that men want to how will he know if you're submissive if you don't show him that until after you're married? You won't make it to that. You won't get the ring. You won't get that ring. So I'm not saying you should be doing all the wifey things before marriage. Is not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, letting him see that you trust his opinion. Letting him see that, you know, you are someone who can follow directions, someone who is a team player. You know, that's someone that a man wants to see, that lets him know, you know what, this is who I want. This is who I can see my life with. But us as women, we don't understand it. We just don't get it. We really don't get it, and we refuse to get it. And that's the sad part about it. And I want to show y'all this, because these are women talking to men, and this is the other side too, right? When we talk to men and have these conversations, men tell us what they think about this and how they view alpha women, masculine women, all the things, but we still don't want to hear them. I don't know why, but we just refuse to want to hear these men. And that's a major problem when it comes to relationships. So here we go.
You an alpha man, you want an alpha female, right?
No
such thing.
Oh my God.
No, I don't.
There's no such thing as an alpha female?
There's no such thing as an alpha female.
No such thing.
Why? How? Why do you think that?
Who does she lead in the relationship? Who does she lead as an alpha female?
as a person though, not in the relationship. As
She's
a person.
Okay, so in terms of relationship, if you're an alpha female, who are you leading?
You're the alpha, so you lead people, right?
Yeah.
There can't be a dynamic though.
There can be two alphas?
No, where there's a man who's, you know what I'm saying, submissive to the woman.
Excuse me? Say that again? A man who's submissive to the woman. Okay,
Yes.
so how do you feel about that man that's submissive to you?
Me personally, I can't be with nobody that's gonna be submissive to me, because I'm gonna walk all over him.
All right.
But
Exactly.
That's just me personally though. Some women want somebody that's submissive.
You know what's crazy?
Isn't it so crazy how they will say these things and don't want it at all? So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You don't want a man who's going to submit to you, right? You don't want the man who does that, because you're going to walk all over him. Which again is what I'm talking about. Alpha women have adapted this very masculine, boss chick, do what I want, run the show type of mentality. And it's detrimental. And men are saying we don't want that. Because it does go down to, like, we have to lead. And like I said, why do we want to? We have to stop trying to change what words mean, right? We have to stop. Let's actually define the word submissive. Like, I want to Google it right now, y'all. Right, 3 things to contradict yourself. Okay. So a submissive person is generally defined as someone who is inclined to yield to the will or authority of others, often exhibiting obedience and willingness to be led or directed. We all have done it. We all do it every day of our lives. Majority, if not all, we all have to yield to authorities, to the authority of others, some way, somehow. Whether it's at work, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your social life, we submit. It doesn't have to be taken to the extreme of you are this slave, this dog, this person who can't think for themselves and do for, like, it doesn't have to be that way. Friends, family, like, we submit. Men and women, we all submit. If you work for somebody else and they know more than you, you have to submit to them because they know more. You're allowing them to lead. You're allowing them to teach you. If you have a tutor, you are submitting to them because they know that they are the expert. They are leading you to know how to do this skill, do this math, whatever it is. They are leading you. They understand. You cannot ask for a tutor and then act like you know more than a tutor. You can't try to be the alpha in that situation when you don't know. They know. They're the expert. And that's the part that we don't realize, that we do it and it's done and it can be so beneficial to your life. You know, they're as women. Let me just play this clip because I think that this is one of the things that I think women have adapted this mentality because we've been programmed to believe this, unfortunately. And especially when it comes down to being single mothers and all of that. So I'm going to share these two clips with y'all so y'all can understand kind of how a lot of these women kind of develop this mentality that I believe is a lot of programming. And I believe that it's a lot of, just repeated broken cycles.
I'm a woman, so you're telling me something that I'm telling you is not true. I look at myself as an alpha female. The reason I'm not bigger, I'm not stronger. Lord knows I can't wait till an alpha male comes in my life and takes over. I'm an alpha female because I am the head of my household. So how a man would be a head of his household and run things, I have to do that until a man comes in and does that. Yes, I am an alpha. The bills are paid by me. My kids are taken care of by me. I run everything that goes on in my life and my children's life to a T. Nothing does not move unless it moves through me. I'm an alpha female. I'm in the working field. I'm competitively in the working field.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm not beneath any.
I wish I could have found this whole interview, y'all, because I couldn't find the whole thing because I wanted to hear the question that he had asked her, right? So there is a large number of Black women who are single mothers, right? That's just a part of being an adult, right? We got to take care of our families, take care of kids. The mentality to think that I have to become an alpha female because I have to take care of my kids is a bit insane, in my opinion. But this is the reality of what we have been programmed to believe. I have to be an alpha woman but at the same time, ask yourself, I can't wait for alpha man to come take the load off of me. How will alpha man, like, if you are operating in your alpha female mentality aura all the time, what would draw that alpha man to you? Even if he just saw you out with your kids, the way that you out with your kids, y'all are in the store, y'all are in Walmart, and this alpha man is walking past. He finds you attractive, but he sees the way that you talk to your sons, your daughter. He like, oh no, I gotta go. I was gonna try to talk to her. I was gonna see what's going on with her, but once I heard the way that she spoke to her kids, the way that she told them no, the way that she told them, the way that she redirected them, yeah, no, that's not gonna work for me. Just that interaction alone of what he noticed about you because you're such an alpha female, aka very aggressive and masculine woman, he said no thank you. Because if I see the way you talk to your kids and they's your kids, how will you talk to me? You understand what I'm saying? So we got to recognize that a lot of alpha women are looking for alpha men, but he ain't looking for you. Alpha men are looking for feminine women. They're not looking for alpha women. Make sure we understand that. Alpha men are not looking for alpha women, period. They're not. They are not looking for alpha women. And again, as I said, we as Black women have been told and watch this become the norm in our community, and it is tearing us apart.
Sounds so unattractive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
A lot of women in this generation are like alpha females, and I think that scares off a lot of men.
That shit sounds so unattractive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, when I hear a woman describe herself as an alpha, it just sounds unattractive, and I wouldn't want to. It sounds like a headache.
Wait, why? A headache is crazy.
You said scared. It just sounds like a turn off.
See, that's crazy.
I want a feminine woman. If you train as an alpha, that means you are exhibiting more of your masculine energy, and that's a turn off to me.
But why?
Y'all heard it. I want a man wants a feminine woman, and that's the shout out to the Deli Wrap Up crew. A man wants a feminine woman. So when he hears that alpha, you are, and you're more masculine. You are in your more masculine aura. That's a turn off. Like I said, that's scary. Because so many women are out here moving like alpha women. They are out here bragging and praising this mentality. As I said before, as women, we can still be very feminine and be assertive. You can close the deal and still be a feminine woman. Being feminine does not mean that you're not confident. That does not mean you're not assertive. That does not mean you don't know how to handle yourself. That just means you have a more gentle approach to doing things and getting it done. I don't need to raise my voice and scream at everybody. I don't need to do all of that. But again, we as women have been programmed, and this is why Black women, y'all, let's be all the way honest, why Black women, we have the lowest marital rates, because we want to be alpha women, and no man wants to deal with no alpha woman. No real man. I don't want to deal with you and all that comes with you and your nasty attitude and your ego. Your ego is way too big. Way too big. Let me show you this clip, because this is something that women always try to use. Like Cheyenne said in that clip, which I do agree with. I don't like for women to use the excuse as to, well, I need a man to make me feminine. I need a man to put me in my feminine. No man can do that, in my opinion. Can a man make you feel more comfortable? Yes. But can a man take you from being a masculine woman to a feminine woman? No. In my opinion, I don't think so. That is a you thing. That does not just happen. He just doesn't meet you today, pay all your bills, and you just automatically become a feminine woman. That is a you thing. You have to decide that you still want to maintain your feminine aura. Even being a boy mom. I know as boy moms, we think we gotta make up for the man, and we gotta show our sons and this and that, we gotta toughen them up. But that's why we need to recognize that we are not meant to be raising our sons by ourselves. We're not meant to have to go between the two. So, because he wants a mother that's loving and shows him that affection and gives him that emotional intelligence that women want in men. His mom is able to give him that, but she can't, because she's also trying to be hard and be the man and try to make sure he's this and that. That is hard to do both. It is. So you need to be, as women, we need to be much more mindful of this.
Have to be alpha now because the temperature of men have changed. We can't rely on men to protect us. We can't rely on men to stand up for us. We don't have men that profess, protect, and provide. They want women to profess, protect, and provide for them.
That was an amazing spiel. I will give you that. But the only issues I have with it is one, right? Is you're classifying all men to be alpha. That in itself is an oxymoron.
Of course, I'm not classifying all men, but that is a standard that every man should want to live up to.
So here's where I will come in and kind of add some perspective, right? Okay. One, men range from all different types of dominant personalities, right?
Of course.
It's not necessarily that each man that considers themselves an alpha is a very macho man who's going to be a physical protector. He might be a financial protector. He might be an intelligent man who can protect you and from
profess, protect, provide.
He could be an emotional protector.
For sure.
But what you'll realize is, even in every scenario with a man living with a woman because she's financially better off, that's a situation that the world kind of put us in, not necessarily his alpha energy.
So let me remove this. So women are always finding a way to always generalize men. They hate for us to generalize them, right? And anytime I talk about Black women specifically, they're like, oh, it's not all Black women. Oh my God, why you always talking about all Black women? And I never say all, nothing's all. But you heard what she just said. You know, the men they can't protect us. We can't trust them. We can't depend on them. You can depend on the men that you chose. But there are men out here who women can depend on. But because you keep choosing the wrong men to depend on, you think, oh, I got to be an alpha. No, you are now an alpha woman, very aggressive and very masculine, because you kept laying them with the wrong men. And then your life is in shambles, and then you don't got nothing else to do but be in survival mode because you're trying to figure out what to do next. That's why you're a masculine alpha woman. That's what has occurred. Your life decisions, and the men that you kept choosing to lay down with men who didn't provide for you, lay down with men who don't want to provide for you, lay down with men who don't want to protect you. Because why would I protect a woman who won't allow me to lead? We got to understand that as women. As an alpha woman, if you say that you're alpha woman and we got to protect ourselves and no men are going to protect us, you got to stand on that, ladies. Men are not out here trying to risk their lives for us no more because they are losing their lives so rapidly trying to protect us. So they decided, like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not going to keep on trying to protect a woman who doesn't want to listen, who doesn't want to follow my lead, who doesn't care what I have to say or what I think. So when you want to be an alpha woman, remember that you are now responsible for you. Because again, if you say an alpha woman, alpha man, who's supposed to be the protector? If we both alphas, you want to go out there and see who downstairs? Women are also using this idea, as I said, about why they have to be alpha and why they got to be masculine is because there's no good men. But you got to look at the men that you've chose, the men that you've dealt with. These are choices. They're all choices. All of them. Every single one of them are choices. But we choose, for whatever reason, to just not want to recognize the choices that we make in life. The decisions that we make that are not healthy for us, that are not beneficial to us. Let me see if I can find this other video because I really want to share this with y'all. Okay, here we go.
You said you want a whole man in your life who can provide, keep, and protect, right? So here's the question. How can you have one when you get up every day trying to be the best man you can be?
Nope. I hope y'all are ready to call me or pick me in the comments. But I'm going to speak from a perspective that's going to help y'all out here. Because this is the problem that I have. Stop hearing from your emotional ears and actually hear what's being said. I understand that the word choice was probably poor. But what he is saying is there are certain characteristics, certain behaviors that a woman may display. We just had a woman that was just talking about being alpha. Let me hit that first. Stop telling people that you alpha because I don't think y'all understand what that personality actually really is and what it comes with. Alpha is not you just being strong. You're being resistant. You're not collaborative when it comes to conflict. You have low perspective taking. So when we have conversations like this, if we want to actually stop the damn gender war, and excuse me if I get passionate, we have to be able to hear both sides right now. If there is a woman, because I deal with couples all the time and I see this, and this is a big problem, and this is why men don't speak on it because they can't be heard on this. If you have a woman who is in a male-dominated field and she has to use most of her masculine traits, sometimes it is hard to turn it off at home. Even if she's not in a relationship, even in her own home, sometimes it's hard to turn it off. I deal with lawyers, I deal with women who are in analytical spaces all the time. And because their brains are still going, when they even get in their own space, they don't get to actually resonate in their feminine energy as we always talk about. They don't get to pull up their feminine traits because they're constantly having to go. They're not practicing mindfulness and stuff like that. So when they do get into a relationship, it becomes something that is so ingrained. It becomes a default mode that they go in. And if you don't understand default modes and default strategies, you won't understand this conversation. There are some women who do go into these defaults and it automatically turns on. It's not on purpose. A lot of it is unconscious. Yes, I may say to myself, I want a man who can allow me to be feminine and provide this space. But if I am always in default mode, even if this man comes, I may still resist him. If I'm constantly having to be my masculine in work and stuff like that in home, and I haven't learned how to turn it off, he's going to face the masculine side of me. Let's be real about this. Let me add my last piece. If y'all actually want, because I come from a very healthy side, so y'all please excuse me. If you actually want to see, we always talk about helping the Black community. If you are wanting to actually see us grow and stop this damn gender war, be able to listen and stop being so emotional. Turn off the fact that you're hearing certain words and just listen for a second. We hear women use certain word choices. We don't check them.
No.
I know, y'all, that was a long answer to the question, but she's right. That's what I want women to know. We gotta stop talking so much. Right? You don't need to let people know you're an alpha woman. You know, like that's not a flex. And I think we think that it is. I'm an alpha woman. I'm independent. I don't need no man. All of that, it's not like you are decreasing your options rapidly. You are decreasing your options rapidly when you're always trying to make sure people know that you do it by yourself. And I don't need no man. Great. You handle your business, but you have to be an adult. Great. Great. But like she said, we get so caught up in the words that you don't even hear what's being said. Submission, what? He said, what? We can't hear what was being said, though, about what being submissive is, right? Like what was the reference of that? You know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. We don't realize that. We often, y'all, we talk too much. We really do. And as he said, how can you want a man, but you wake up every day trying to be the best man that you can be? That's not a good look. And I understand that a lot of women out here have to work hard and have to do it by themselves. And, you know, taking care of kids by yourself is not easy. So my hat goes off to those women who have to do that. I'm grateful that I don't. And I wish more women would understand that life is hard when you have to do it by yourself. But we've been programmed to believe that it's cooler. You get more brownie points. You look, you know, you're more respected. It's just not. We got, a lot of us as Black women, it's so deep in us. It is so deep in us that we have to do a lot of work to reverse this thinking, a lot of healing, a lot of therapy. You know, and I see a comment, I'm talking about in general. This goes for all age groups at this point. We're talking about millenniums, Gen Zs, the older generation. Like it's so far. It's not even a millennium. It goes from the old women, the 65, to the women who are 18. It is so far. And I'm a millennium, but it is so far. We're touching 3 generations and counting. So this is women of all ages, because it is a cycle. You got grandma who's 65, who influenced her daughter who's 40, who's influencing her daughter who's 25. You see what I'm saying? It just trickles down. It don't matter. It don't matter. And that's the scary part about it, because it just keeps going and going and going. It just keeps going. We as women have to understand. That we make life harder for ourselves. Too often we make life harder for ourselves. We really do. We really do. We make life so much harder than it has to be. And you don't realize that until it's a little bit too late. Millennials are people who are born from 1980 to about 1994, 1995. Those are millennials. And Gen Z is 95 to 2009. And then I think it's Alpha is 2010 until as of now, I guess. But you got the Gen Xers who are 65 to 79. You got the baby boomers who are 46 to 64. Like we about 5 generations in, literally, and counting. 4 generations in and counting. So as I said, we as women, we make it hard on ourselves. And a lot of time, again, like I said, life is hard on you. Life is hard because you've been programmed to believe this is how it should be. This is just the norm, and you accept it and you go along with it. you know, and you go along with it. No, millennials are 1980 to 1994, I think. 1994, yeah. So it might be 94, right? Yeah, probably 94. But yeah, so there is so much beauty, honestly, ladies, in being soft women. Is it always easy? Right? No. Is it always easy to kind of stay in that feminine space? No, I get it. Life happens and you got to be a little bit more. Yo, I'm telling you, the other day, quick example, I had to be like very assertive. It had nothing to do with me being aggressive. And the woman started to say that because we had like someone come out who was like trying to upgrade our cable or whatever, and it was like, if you upgrade, like upgrade our cable, upgrade our internet, or like lower the bill, and we can get new phones and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, like cool, we get our internet bill cheaper, get brand new phones, get our phone bill cheaper. I'm like, cool. As the woman's talking and she's starting to like, it's not making sense. My husband had to like do what he was going to go do. Cool. And he trusts me in these situations. He does. He trusts me to make the decision as to what we're going to really do in the situation, right? So as she started acting like certain things she started saying, I'm like, this ain't really sounding right. Like it started to get down to like the money and what we got to pay that day, and I'm like, yeah, that don't sound right. Like why is that? Like explain to me what that means. And she couldn't really explain it. So I'm already like, yeah, this ain't. I'm like, I understand this ain't about you, sis. Like this is a company thing. I've experienced companies where they say one thing in person, and then you leave, and it's a whole different story on the phone. And I don't like that. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing things like that unless I know for sure what's being explained to me accurately. I feel like I'm not being deceived. So she started to say like, I'm sorry, like I'm getting like scared, and she was like, I'm like no, like she's like, because I don't want you to like view me a certain way. And I'm like, no, it's not you. I understand it's not about you. It's about this dynamic of the information is not lining up to what you have been promised to tell. Like, you know, you're promised people what you've been promised that you think that it's supposed to be. And I was very adamant, like, Miss, I understand you want to get this commission. Cool. If you can't guarantee me what I need to know, I cannot move forward with this. I'm not yelling at her. I'm not cursing her out. I'm saying very clear, this is what I need for me to move forward with signing up with your company, period. If you can't do this, I'm sorry, I cannot do it now. And I make sure I reassure her that it's not about you. It's not a personal thing. I don't know you for it to be personal. I understand. I know you feel like you said you're new. Cool. I hear you. But it does not change what I need to feel comfortable what I'm doing. Again, I'm still being very, very assertive, but I'm also still being a very gentle person. I'm still being a gentle person, and maybe sometimes people don't always know how to receive somebody who's being assertive, because they see it as like, oh my God, like you're standing your ground for the right reason. You know what I'm saying? There's no I'm standing my ground for the right reason. I'm not just standing on business just because, like, I'm making it very clear. You know what I'm saying? So just like I said, that was just the other day. And my husband had to do, like I said, had to do what he had to do, and I told him that we wasn't doing it, and that was that. He didn't argue with me. He trusts me. He can submit to me in that aspect of like, all right, my wife said we ain't doing it. She knows what she's talking about, and that's it. That don't mean I became the masculine alpha of the marriage. No, just in that specific situation, I had the ability to say what would be most comfortable, and my husband knows that he can trust me with this information and what to do and make the right decision, and it worked. She wasn't happy, obviously, but that ain't my problem. You know, so again, as women, you can still get your point across. A lot of y'all, we got to stop with the cursing, the filthy, disgusting mouths. It's a whole nother level. Like I said, if a man is trying to meet you and you're wanting to meet your alpha man to take the load off of you so you can be more feminine, that mouth of yours, ladies, we gotta, the mouths are nasty. They're disgusting. Y'all see my videos that I drop every day. The language, the mouths are nasty. They're nasty. So the way that y'all talk to men, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine how women talk to men. I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I can't imagine because I see it. And it's filthy. It's filthy. It's filthy. My mom wasn't a submissive woman either. She's very aggressive at times. So I didn't grow up watching a bunch of feminine women. Also, I didn't come from a home of from marriage. I didn't come from a home of a family of all these feminine women. No, it was primarily alpha women, masculine women, for sure. So there's, like I said, there's so much beauty. And I'm going to share this last clip for y'all before we end, because it's just the perfect way to end and let women know that, it is possible to find a good man who's willing to do, to go half on life with you.
End of the day, I'm the neck, my man's the head. So he can't make any moves without his wife. You know what I mean? It all works together. But you can't be the head of the house. You got to let the man be the head of the house. But it's a generational thing, and it's what we've been taught. To stand up, be strong, be the, you know what I mean? And a dude come and everything about you is like a man. You have to learn how to submit. You can still be a queen. Queen plays a part. The king needs his queen. It's certain things that he can't see that we see.
Some people will say the queen is the most valuable piece on the board.
Come on, anybody play chess?
It is, yeah.
Okay, we work together, but the queen has to sit back and allow her king to be the king.
And that's that, y'all. That is that. That is that. Like she said, you can't be, you trying to be the man. So the first thing I will say to women out here who are struggling with this and they want to try to release a lot of this, you have to change your mindset. Your mindset has to be you can't change your actions until you change your mindset. The mindset has to change 100%. And it's going to take work because, again, this is deep. It is deep in you, deep within you. So you're going to have to change your mindset. You're going to have to change up how you, what the word submissive means. Not allowing it to trigger you, not allowing it to make you uncomfortable. Step into it that it's a good thing. It's beneficial to you. It's helping you in all aspects of your life. You got to start to understand that this stuff is not meant to harm you. It is meant to help you. If you open yourself up to let go of those thoughts and what you thought you knew. I mean, what you've always known, but it's not right. It's not beneficial. It's not helping you at all. Not at all. Okay. So I hope y'all enjoyed this live. I hope y'all really enjoyed the live and the the videos that I shared, just to kind of give some context and understanding of where I'm coming from with this. I know that, us as women, we just struggle to get it, y'all. We struggle to get it. We do. But we gotta understand that it is possible to change. It's possible to change if you want to, because we submit. We can be accountable. It just depends on who can hold us accountable. So, when is the podcast coming back? What podcast? With my husband? That's what I talk about. So I hope y'all enjoyed the live. I really do. I'll be dropping a new episode, Just a Girl Talk, tomorrow, inshallah. All goes well. Yeah. So hope everybody, I hope, again, I said this before, y'all. I am going to be considering going live more than once a week. I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of like time and things like that. So there's no like we don't. Oh, you're talking about. So the show here is to bring other women on. So this is not necessarily. This is just my show that I bring guests on. So I don't have a show in the works with other women per se. But bringing other women on. If you are a woman who wants to come on the show and have a conversation, please. My email is in my bio. It's justagirlcollabs@gmail.com. You can definitely email me. So yeah. For the women who are in the chat, also I have a beauty channel. You can follow you can subscribe to my beauty channel here on YouTube. It's called The Beauty Room with Just a Girl. Just don't I'm gonna type it in the chat for anyone who wants to subscribe to that channel. I would greatly appreciate it. That's dedicated for the women. Also, if you want to join the Patreon, so I dropped a video yesterday on my channel regarding today actually regarding the woman who asked proposition a man to give him oral. And then I had a video. What did I post yesterday? I want to make sure, because I'm going to talk about this stuff and I want to go deeper into this stuff in my Patreon. And it's about like I want to go because I don't want to have that conversation about just essay and inappropriateness on like publicly. So I would love. I'm going to put that link in the description for my Patreon as well. Once the live ends, if you want, I would love for you guys to join the Patreon and be a part of it, because I do want to have this conversation and really go deep into this conversation in my Patreon. And I want you guys to hear it, but I won't be dropping that on live specifically. So yeah. Okay. So I appreciate y'all. I really do. I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode of Just a Girl Talk, and I will talk to y'all later. Good night. Bye.
So let's talk about it. I'm just a girl.
You know that girl, I am just a girl too.
There's a creator on this app called I'm Just a Girl, and a lot of y'all don't like her.
All the discourse surrounding Just a Girl, I really have just one question.
And I'm just a girl.
Just a girl.
That lady, I'm just a girl.
No, because y'all are tearing that Just a Girl a whole new one.
I think the problem with I'm Just a Girl's content,
That Just a Girl lady, you cannot convince me that she don't hate black women.